This is your weekly IUP-TV News Bulletin, broadcasted from Davis Hall. My name is Tracy Edmiston.
And my name is James Geddes. We bring you stories that are relevant to IUP and the Indiana community.
The Carriage House and Essex apartment on Oakland Avenue and 13th Street in Indiana will be repurposed as part of a $2.5 million grant. The grant was made possible by the state of Pennsylvania under Redevelopment Assistance Capital Program. Indiana qualified for the grant because of declines in regional demographics, as well as declining enrollment at IUP. The property will be reused to help the local economy.
2 years have passed since the COVID-19 pandemic started. The Pennsylvania Department of Health reports 43,600 deaths from the virus. Cases are now decreasing below 1,000 for the first time since early August. Positive cases are now down below 5%, and hospitalization rates for COVID keep decreasing. The CDC also announced that half of Pennsylvania counties are now considered to be at a low risk of transmission between people.
The global death toll from COVID-19 reached 6 million on Monday, as the pandemic is closing in on its third year. This news comes as cases and deaths are on the decline. The United States still continues to report the highest number of deaths.
From all across the United States, gas prices just keep rising. Numbers have increased over a record high of $4.17 a gallon. This breaks the previous high of $4.10 a gallon that was set in last July of 2008. According to the American Automobile Association, the average price went up 10 cents in a day and 35 cents just last week. President Joe Biden is announcing that the U.S. will ban imports of Russian oil effective immediately.
The Pennsylvania Department of Health has expanded its financial assistance program for state medical marijuana patients. The first two phases of the program went into effect on March 1st. It eliminated annual ID card and background check fees for eligible participants already enrolled in the financial hardship programs. When implemented, the third phase will give patients a chance to determine cash benefits, which can be used at all Pennsylvania dispensaries.
McDonald's announced that 850 of their restaurants will be temporarily closed in Russia to show their support for Ukraine. Even though the restaurants are closed, they will continue to pay their employees for being laid off. McDonald's took this action after receiving backlash for its silence about Russia's invasion to Ukraine. Besides McDonald's, Burger King, Starbucks, and Coca-Cola have taken similar actions.
President Joe Biden's approval rating is on the rise due to his handling of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. The new approval rating is 45%, which is up 4% from last week. Overall, Biden has seen an 8% increase in approval since February.
Last Sunday, the IUP men's basketball team won the PSAC championship and is set to host the NCAA Division Atlantic Regionals this weekend. Indiana County Chamber of Commerce President Mark Hilliard says that these tournaments will help bring business to the county as people will be traveling to attend the games.
Let's talk about mental health. Not many people realize that your mental health is just as important as your physical. As college students, many different factors can contribute to poor mental health, such as the pressure to succeed, financial instability, social media, and poor health habits. So how do you maintain good mental health? Exercising multiple times a week, eating better on a daily basis, drinking less, and setting achievable goals for yourself are great ways to stay on top.
Despite the mask mandate being removed at IUP, there are people who continue to play it safe and get tested regularly. Molly Cunningham talks about free COVID testing on campus and what people think about mask removal.
Every home in the United States had the opportunity to order 4 free at-home COVID-19 tests. Although the government said that they would take 7 to 12 days to ship, they have been taking longer than that due to the high demand. Senior Brielle Stevens has ordered her tests and is still waiting for them to arrive.
Free COVID tests are important because it gives you a way to find out what your results are, and then in order to keep yourself and others safe, you need to know and let people know that you are sick so you can stay home for at least 2 weeks.
The government hopes to beat COVID-19 by providing these COVID tests. In order to get your test, you must provide your basic contact information and your shipping address.
Still impacting IUP students because more students are not taking the pandemic seriously and letting people know that, okay, like, you're sick, I can't be around you, or like, I'm sick and I can't be around you, and everybody's still going out without masks on, or they're not taking their home COVID test kits.
President Driscoll sent an email out March 2nd saying that the university is no longer requiring masks in indoor facilities and buildings, except for the health center and counseling center on campus. Having free COVID testing at the health center, along with at-home kits being sent out, students are still taking the precaution to help stop the spread. Senior Christian Holman has hope that the COVID-19 will come to an end with the help of the tests.
I believe that it's great that the government sent out free COVID tests to students and to homes. They're able to do it for free, and they're able to do it at the comfort of their homes and to take every precaution to protect the community.
The results from the at-home tests are still in progress as people are still receiving them. Congress has said that the private insurers must cover all COVID testing along with the COVID treatments and vaccines. If you test positive on an at-home test, you should isolate yourself for at least 5 days. You can end isolation after 5 full days if you are fever-free for 24 hours without the use of fever-reducing medication, and your other symptoms have improved.
Since it's not required to wear a mask in class, some students are choosing to still wear a mask in the classrooms, in the library, or on IUP campus. And I think students are taking their health seriously and watching for any symptoms for COVID and doing everything they can to protect IUP students and the staff and everybody from the disease spreading again.
These kits may be the reason that COVID comes to an end, but either way, it gives hope to the IUP community as we protect one another. From IUP-TV News, this is Molly Cunningham.
Cases are coming up about the wide use of TikTok among Ukrainians in the war against Russia. Here's Tracy Edmiston, who gives us insight about the use of this app for a greater purpose.
One of the most current and popular platforms that everyone is enjoying is TikTok. As we all know, this app became a huge success at the beginning of the pandemic last 2 years ago. It was a useful tool for people that had nothing to do and eventually made use of the platform to show entertainment, skills, talents, sharing personal life stories, and so much more. And here's Molly Cunningham that gained a great experience from it.
TikTok is great for influencing people, and it has specifically influenced myself. I think that the words that people say has gotten to me and has helped me through a lot of things, through COVID, mentally, physically, everything that I've gone through. And I think that it's just a great media source for anybody to use.
TikTok has also been a source to find and share reliable information, just like people becoming aware of what is currently going on in Ukraine. The app has recently blocked new video posts and live streams in Russia. This decision was granted to avoid Russia from spreading misleading information. And that is it for today. This is Tracy Edmiston reporting IUP-TV News. To commemorate Women's History Month, our reporter, Skylar Sobansky, shows us how the IUP cheerleaders have made their comeback this year. Here's the story.
Due to the COVID-19 pandemic putting everything on hold, the IUP cheer team is back and fully focused. But it is a little different this year. In the past, we have had a coach, but now we are a student-ran program. Meet one of the captains, Ava Bianca. She explains how she was able to get certified to be able to coach the IUP cheer team.
When we first decided that we wanted to be student-run for the cheerleading program, we contacted a couple of the athletic directors from IUP, and we sent them a list of verifications we found for different types of cheer coaches and safety things that we would need. From there, the one that they let us do was the USA Cheer certification. So that was an organization that works with a lot of college teams and all-star teams and rec cheerleading. That verification was about half of it was the safety aspect of cheerleading and what to do if someone gets injured and the right steps to take. And the other half was a lot of the training of cheerleading and kind of making sure that we know the correct technique to teach and we know what skills we're doing and what to call them and the correct levels of progression with cheerleading.
But she is not the only one that stepped up. Meet Abby Kobleski, another captain of the IUP cheer team, as she also talks about how she got certified to be a coach.
Okay, so Ava and I talked with the athletic director, Todd Gazzarelli, and we basically just thought it would be easier to be student run. So All we really had to do is get a USA cheer certification, and then her and I are both safety certified, so if somebody does get hurt, we know what to do.
With 2 students now running the cheer program, comes with learning how to balance when it's the right time to be a coach figure, and then the friendship aspect. Both Ava and Abby talk about how they balance this.
It's really difficult to be both the coach and a member on a team because you want to have that close bond with all of the members on the team, but you also want them to have that respect for you and understand that you know what you're talking about when you're trying to help them and become better and grow as a team and do a little bit more than just have fun together.
So I have some sort of issues balancing friends and the coaching. It's kind of hard to be the bad guy at times, but most of the time we try and be strict during practice, and then outside of practice we're a little bit more lenient on things. But for the most part, we have to be strict during practice so that we can get things done and look good for games.
As they both took the position to be a coach, they have a certain vision that they want the team to be. Both Ava and Abby explain what they want for the future of the IUP cheer team.
For the rest of the season, I really want our team to grow both with each other and with our abilities. I think we have a lot of potential this year, and our team's really talented, so I want to take that potential and be able to showcase it at the rest of our football games and during basketball season. We're also trying to engage the community a lot more. We have been doing a lot of fundraisers and trying to outreach more people to get more people in our program and involved on campus.
My vision for IUP cheer for the rest of the season, I hope that we can hit some more new pyramids, new stunts, become more advanced, and I'm hoping that next year, even though I'm graduating, I hope next year that they can have a sort of a competition team or something like that to showcase all of their skills.
As our team has went through many changes in the past 2 years, we are back as one and ready for what the future holds.
The Penn Student Newspaper is where students at IUP and members of the surrounding communities can catch up on the latest news about the weather, sports, culture, politics, and everyday events in Indiana. You can find such news articles on their website, thepenn.org. There you can also view their multimedia page full of videos and skits revolving around current trends on campus. Wanting to advertise your business? The Penn has you covered for that as well, with spots in their newspaper and videos. You can access all that and more at thepenn.org.
With all the doom and gloom being talked about lately, you might be searching for a distraction. Luckily for people in Indiana County, IUP has a few entertaining events coming up. Paige Lutz has the story.
With spring right around the corner, the IUP campus is already starting to feel the warm weather and sunshine outside. But spring can be felt inside as well, from the halls of Cogswell and the IUP Wind Ensemble. Step into their rehearsal space, and you'll hear them warming up to play the iconic sounds of Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, to something you've definitely never heard before. It's the world premiere of this piece, Nancy Galbraith's Concerto for Woodwind Quintet and Wind Ensemble, at the Spring is in the Air concert happening March 10th at 7:30 in Fisher Auditorium. Along with this premiere is the classic Rhapsody in Blue, with piano soloist Dr. Henry Wong-do. The program will close out with Omar Thomas's Come Sunday.
So if we're thinking about it in different ways, we have representation of something old, we have something brand new by a female composer, and then we are ending with an African-American composer, all of great note.
Dr. Timothy Paul conducts the group of over 30 IUP music students. With his years of experience, he has his rehearsal techniques down to a science.
So we passed the music out so the students would have it coming into the school year, and we started off by reading it and seeing where all the things we're talking about, the benchmarks in it, and then we started talking about how do we create the transparency of sound? How do we make all of our articulations line up? How do we create the phrases? How do you make the sound ring when you release it so in the room it just vibrates? And our goal is, like, if the composer were in the audience, that he or she would say, that's exactly how I envisioned it.
Not only does Dr. Paul prepare, but his students do as well, putting in hours of practice in and out of rehearsals.
Take the percussion section, for example. Each musician has their own unique setup of various instruments, and it can be a challenge to move them around. And talk about skill. Some percussionists have to play up to 5 different instruments in just a single piece.
Responsibility is essential as well. Section leaders ensure that each musician stays on track.
At the beginning of a concert series, I have to assign music to everyone in my section, which means kind of watching them practice and rehearse in the weeks prior. I have to listen to the music a lot, kind of highlight what's going to be a trouble issue when we do sectionals, which I run, so that we can look at those parts that are going to be a hard time. It's all a matter of like looking at everybody's strengths, looking at everybody's weaknesses, and planning for the semester based on that.
With all the hard work put in by the music students and faculty, it's sure to be a great show. Reporting for IUP-TV News, I'm Paige Lutz.
If you are feeling up to the challenge of hosting a show with some music of your choice, why not join IUP-FM on the airwaves? As they are searching for new on-air DJs, Cole Carter tells us more about this opportunity.
If you visit Philadelphia Street in downtown Indiana, PA, you're likely to hear a radio tune to 90.1 WIUP-FM. WIUP-FM is the student-run radio station here at IUP. Located in Davis Hall, WIUP-FM's studio uses state-of-the-art equipment that allows student DJs to work in a professional radio environment.
I think that I would describe the environment as a, pseudo-professional learning experience. And obviously, the beautiful part of that is the fact that they upgrade their equipment frequently, so you're always using top-of-the-line equipment.
If working in an environment like this sounds good to you, then you're in luck. WIUP-FM is always looking for new on-air DJs. This is what one of the senior DJs from WIUP-FM, Ian Zimmerman, had to say about his experience with the student radio.
So I started being a radio host on WIUP-FM as a freshman. I did the Smash Alley time slot from 12 to 2 a.m. That was a rough one, I'm going to be honest, but it was a great opportunity for me to expand my horizons into an industry that I really didn't think I'd be any good at, and I made a lot of great friends along the way who I still talk to after they graduated, so there's that too.
If you want to listen to WIUP-FM and you're in the Indiana area, you can turn your radio to 90.1 for your alternative source. If you're not in the Indiana area, but would still like to listen to the student-run radio, you can tune in on their website, wiupfm.org. This has been Cole Carter, IUP-TV News.
Daylight savings time will start this Sunday. Don't forget to turn your clock forward this weekend. Our reporter, Benjamin Hodel, shows a story on how this tradition started and what people think about it.
Twice a year, you have to change your clocks. We call this daylight savings time. On November 7th, we will have to turn our clocks back an hour. You might ask yourself, why do we have to do this? Well, there is a lot of history ranging from saving costs of the war to collecting insects to analyze and inspect. Nowadays, over 70 countries worldwide, such as the United Kingdom, the United States, and France, use daylight savings time. However, some people believe that daylight savings time is not as useful as it should be. IUP Comm Media student Cerise Blouse gives her opinion on why daylight savings time is not useful.
I think it sucks because it was literally made for farmers before there was electricity in like the 10s and the 20s, but now we have electricity so they can just put some like headlights on their gear.
Though we are turning the clocks back an hour, we will still start to see the sun setting between 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. This may be a benefit for some, such as IUP biology major Carly Ryan.
Well, I have some really early classes, so I like now that we set the clocks back that I don't have to walk in the dark anymore. And then I also like when it's in the summertime and we set the clocks forward that the summer nights are a lot longer and it's the perfect weather to hang out at nighttime.
Daylight savings time was first used in Canada in 1908. Then Germany popularized daylight savings time in 1916 to save fuel during the war. It was invented by George Vernon Hudson as a way to have more time to collect and examine insects. Benefits was indeed a major idea behind it. Based on Healthline.com, however, when we set the clocks an hour ahead, car accidents increased by 6%. This is because of sleepy drivers losing an hour of sleep while going to work. There is a debate on whether or not we should still practice daylight savings time. Some people believe that if daylight savings time was not practiced, it would be good for business and there would be more help in regards to one's mental health. States like Arizona already started this by removing daylight savings time since it is unnecessary because of the hot climate. IUP Comm Media student Cerise Blouse gives us good reasons why daylight savings time should not be a thing.
I think removing daylight savings time would really help people with seasonal depression because they would have more hours in the day that are light, because most people don't wake up until 8 or 9 when they have to go to work, and there's 3 hours during standard time that are light that could be used in the evening so that people on their way home from work see the sunset later and not while they're in a building.
Even though we may not see daylight savings time go away anytime soon, we will still have to turn back our clocks for right now. For IUP-TV News, this is Benjamin Hodel.
Chalk the Walk is happening on March 21st after IUP spring break. Come and join the Haven Project, which is hosting this event at 4:30 p.m. in the Oak Grove.
The Health and Wellness Department will present Just for Paws after IUP spring break. This won't be the only time you can see some adorable canines on campus. This event will take place on Monday, March 21st at 6 p.m.
That's all the news that we have this week. Spring break is coming, so the news bulletin will not air next week. My name is Tracy Edmiston.
And my name is James Geddes. Check here on March 24th for more stories like the diversity of students at IUP and sporting events on campus. We'll see you in 2 weeks, Indiana.